What's going on, everybody? Caleb Anderson here, Mountain Life 603. Gonna do another quick little New Hampshire 48 4,000 footer podcast for you. It's not really a podcast, it's more of a storytelling. I got this for Christmas. This is just a list of the 48 4,000 footers. You put in each mountain as you pick them out, as you do them. I have personally done, I don't know. I stopped counting a long time ago. I think I've done around 42. This is how I'm going to remember. I'm going to go through and pick out each mountain randomly, and then from my memory, my elephant brain, I am going to tell a story of each mountain that I've done. And then we'll see how many I have left to do. And then I'll do them, I guess. I'm not going to get into why I didn't finish the 48 4,000 footers. I could have. I've done a lot of these multiple times, different trails, things like that. But there's a reason for that. If you want, scroll back in my videos and you'll find a video that says why I'm not finishing the 48. It explains it all in there. While you're at it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Next time I do one of these, you'll be notified. Anyways, let's get right into it. I found that posting these on Facebook groups and things like that is good for people who haven't done a lot of the 4,000 footers or haven't done any of them and want to know, maybe I can shed some light. Some of my stories are kind of stupid and kind of funny rather than informational, but you can pick a little bit of information out of every story I have, and maybe you'll remember that spot or that time or that weather that you find on that mountain. So let's do it. I'm gonna reach in here. I hope I don't get Mount Wildcat again. South Kinsman. I don't know, I can never get these to focus. Try to get that to focus. South Kinsman, they have it as 4,358 feet. We'll just say 4,300. Obviously, there's a north and a south Kinsman. And Kinsman Ridge is the Kinsmans, right? The Kinsmans are attached to Cannon, right? Kinsman Ridge. Yeah. Yeah, because I want to say you take Kinsman Ridge Trail up Cannon. There it goes. I got it. Kinsman. South Kinsman, 4,300 feet. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, South Kinsman. So, I did South Kinsman twice, and both were pretty epic weather scenarios. So, oh no, I only did South Kinsman once. I'm sorry. So the first time I went back, you can scroll back in my videos and you'll see hiking in a windstorm. Something about a windstorm. It was a couple years ago, so 50 or 60 videos back. But it was, I went to go hike the Kinsmans by myself. And I came up Cannon, right? Kinsman Ridge, yeah, up Cannon. And you go past like this beautiful lake. And if you don't know about Lonesome Lake in Cannon, you need to Google that. Google Lonesome Lake. And anybody from down south or up north for that matter who wants to come and hike in the Whites, Lonesome Lake is pretty cool. It's a good quick little hike to Lonesome Lake. You can take your kids. It's pretty steep to get there because you're on like the east side of Cannon. So it's pretty steep to get there, but once you get up to Lonesome Lake's at like 2,000 feet or something like that, 2,300 feet. And it's got a beautiful, Lonesome Lake hut is beautiful. It's got a beautiful hut on it. I believe there's somebody there at the hut year-round, food, everything like that. Tons of rooms, and you can reserve a room. and go up to Lonesome Lake. And so I went past Lonesome Lake. You have like Fishin' Jimmy Trail. And I was in a terrible windstorm, and I got up to the summit, and there's video. If you watch the video, my son's watch the video, and you'll see trees that are blowing, and the roots are lifting up from the summit because they're just sitting on the granite up there, and the wind was blowing so bad. But it's a great view. You can see down into once you get up high enough, you can see the backside of Cannon and Cannonball and the lakes and stuff, Lonesome Lake, and then you can see the highway, and your best view is of Franconia Ridge, Lafayette, Lincoln, Little Haystack, Flume, Liberty, all just spread out for you, and great pictures from Kinsman. Anyways, the first time when I went to go up there and do the two of them, I just did North Kinsman because of the wind. The wind was ridiculous, and I was like, this is not fun. I just want to go home. I was by myself. It was one of those times. Like, I got one 4,000 footer, and to tell you the truth, I actually didn't want to do the other 4,000 footer without my wolf pack with me. So I called it on that day, and the next time we did it was in the middle of winter. It was freezing. And that video is really, really cool too. I think I just named it North and South Kinsman. Should have named it something cooler. But if you've ever been up north in the winter, the trees collect the snow and then they bend over and they make these like dinosaur figures, you know, like these, it looks like some sort of weird limestone maybe. They look just I don't want to say organic because they're trees, of course they're organic, but it just brings a whole different view to this place. It looks like you're walking on the moon when you get on the summit of North and South Kinsman. So when I had the boys with me and it was winter, we got up to the summit of North, and it was just beautiful, like this snowfall that was just kind of misting in the air. And that's why I love doing these, because I'm remembering now. And that day had this snowfall. If you follow my Instagram, Mountain Life 603 on Instagram, you can scroll way back to when we did this hike. And there was this snow in the air, and it wasn't falling. It was just blowing around. And the way we always hike real early, and the way the sun was like coming up and trying to burn off all of the fog and stuff that gets caught in the notch. And if you're from around here, you'll know what I mean. The notch catches a lot of those clouds in the morning, and the sun has to work really hard to burn it all out. And this snow was just kind of in the air, sparkling. It was effing magical. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It made every picture that much cooler because there was these little flakes of snow everywhere. And I actually took a picture on the summit of South Kinsman of my watch altimeter, and it had perfect snowflakes, each one of them different, obviously, and just I got a really detailed picture of one landed on my watch. That was a great hike, and that's why I love doing this little podcast, because it makes me remember things. Like, I knew I had done North and South Kinsman, but I didn't remember until I spoke about it here, about that was the time that snow was just kind of blowing around, not falling. There was no wind really, but it was just kind of, it was beautiful. If you can follow my Instagram or go see that video, do so. It was a great one. North and South Kinsman, you might as well do them together. Do Kinsman Ridge, get Cannon too. It's a great little hike, and you're not far from the highway. But don't get that comfort. People get that comfort of thinking that it's right on the highway. If you can see the highway from the summit, oh, if I can see it from the highway, it must be close. No. Forget all that. You can die in between here and there. No warning. Next one we're going to do, last one we're going to do, Mount Adams. Believe it or not, I don't have much to say about Mount Adams. It's just there. They have 5,799 feet, which is giving it some, I think. It's the second tallest mountain in the Whites, in the east, actually. I don't know if it's taller than the one in Maine, Katahdin. I don't know if Mount Adams is taller than Katahdin. If you know, comment down below. Let me know which is taller, Katahdin or Mount Adams. Mount Adams is in the Presidential Range. It is next to Mount Washington, right? Is it Jefferson or Adams? Here's another one for the comments. It goes Madison. Pretty sure it goes Madison. Yeah, I'm almost positive. I'm positive, actually. It goes Madison, Adams, Jefferson, Clay, Washington, Monroe, Eisenhower, Pierce, Jackson, Webster. Boom! Did it. Anyways, yeah, Mount Adams, there's really nothing to say about Adams. It's big, it's a pain in the ass, it's always windy. Always windy. You can go back and see, so my friend Chris, we brought him up in the Presidents and did Mount Adams, and it was blowing probably 100 miles an hour. Always. The wind is always blowing on Mount Adams. It's the rock pile. So we call the Presidential Range, like it's the nickname for Mount Washington is the rock pile, but I mean, mostly the Presidential Range is a rock pile. Mount Adams sticks up there, and the summit wouldn't be as tall as it is. It would be like 1,000 feet lower if there wasn't this pile of big rocks, just big stones, just this big pile of them. That's what makes the mountain. It's not really like a solid mass. It's just this pile of stones. Yeah, and it's just up there, and it's annoying, and no, I love it. I love it up there. In the Prezzies, it's got this grass that makes you feel like you're in Scotland. Not that I've ever been to Scotland, but like from what I've seen, like the fjords or whatever, it's got this alpine grass that, you know, you shouldn't walk in, you can't walk in. It takes hundreds of years for it to grow this tall or something like that. I don't know, but so stay off the grass, but it's a very calming place if you can get out of the wind. I feel like the wind is always blowing on Mount Adams. It's a very exposed and tough mountain to do, so if you ever go to do it, just be prepared. I've always just gone around it, or we've stopped 2 or 3 times, maybe, doing the Prezi Traverse. I've done a few times, and like, we were going to, the time me and Jason did Jefferson and Washington that I told you about, when we got stuck in between in the whiteout conditions in August with no water. That was, we were going to do Adams that night and didn't work out. Wildcat D, 4,000 feet. Good one to end it on. It's like, they say it's like 4,060 feet or something. 4,000 feet. Wildcat D. Me and Jason set out for Wildcat in a rainstorm, knowing we were going to get wet. We knew it. We knew we were going to get wet, so we just went for it. We had driven all the way up there. It's a long drive up to Gorham, up to, you know, to that area, the Presidential Range. And we started out, and it was just absolutely pouring. We got soaked, and by the time we got halfway up, it started to freeze when it hit the ground. So we were going up these like stone staircases that were, you know, incline, needing hands and feet, and the top layer was ice, and we didn't have spikes because it was like, I don't know, it was probably near August or June, and it became kind of like a situation, like we had to make sure we took it easy. And we got up to the summit, and we knew there's a lookout up there, like a wood structure lookout, and we knew we could probably go underneath it. But that was even worse because the water was coming through it, and in these big drops, and it would soak you even worse. So there's some cool structures, like natural structures, stone structures, caves that you can get up. There's a lot of caves on that trail. I'm talking about, I don't know, I can't remember which trail it is, probably Wildcat D Trail or whatever it is, but we started it, and you go under the highway and then up the mountain, and yeah, let me tell you, it was wet and treacherous, but in the summer, if you can go to Wildcat, check it out, that view of Mount Washington, all the ravines, so you can see Tuckerman's, Huntington, all that stuff, and that's a beautiful view. So, my name's Caleb Anderson, Mountain Life 603. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.